Charlotte, North Carolina for postseason college baseball, the ACC Championship game, and a rivalry that only needs two words: State, Carolina. And the Heels, one of the hottest teams in the country ever since they won a series against NC State, who arrives with perhaps the biggest star in the sport, Tommy Tanks. Tommy White is here, and so are the fans. Attendance records in jeopardy today in Uptown Charlotte. Truist Field ready to go. It is gone!
I gotta get it. Work hard, I'm with it. Last time I sat down, the Lord been.
Are you kidding me?
I wanna be my own boss, 365. And no days off, eyes on the prize. Taking no loss, hard work and dedication, man, it really pays off. One day I was walking down the street.
You're watching the ACC on ESPN. On a championship Sunday, rivals collide. Snoop is here. We've got NC State and North Carolina. Hey, the ACC might be the best conference in college baseball this year, and we started this tournament on Tuesday with 12 teams, and now 2 remain after these semifinal wins yesterday. With that, we say hello and thanks for joining us. The former Big League All-Star Gabby Sanchez, Mike Monaco with you, and this is as good as it gets. A rivalry game, a title game. Capacity here is 10,200. Do not tell the fire marshal. We might break that.
My God, we have a championship game, but then we also have a rivalry game to go with it. And not only that, you have a game that all of a sudden can go into next week where one team can jump into a top 8 in UNC. NC State can jump into a top 16 and actually host a regional. So this implication here, not only do you get a nice trophy, you can get something else with it too.
Yeah, we got everything. Rivals, star power, and let's go right there because Tommy White is one of the 2 best freshmen in the country, and no freshman in college baseball has ever hit more home runs in a season.
And you know what? He has continued to do it here in this ACC Tournament Championship. He has 4 hits, and guess what? Every single one of them has left the ballpark, and every single one has been to right center field, a man with power to all fields.
He's been breaking records, and he's got another one that is within reach as he hunts down a couple of Seminoles atop the ACC list. Meanwhile, the opponent is North Carolina, and we said how hot the Heels are. They've won 14 of their last 16. They're a top 16 seed, as you said, but maybe even better.
They could be even better. They win this game. They solidify themselves, in my opinion, as a top 8 seed. They could host regionals and super regionals. 6-game winning streak. They're on fire.
And they've got their ace on the mound, Max Carlson, sophomore righty from Savage, Minnesota, who pitched Tuesday here in Charlotte against Clemson. 6 innings, 1 run, so you see that bottom line, 4 days rest. And how long do we see Max Carlson?
Well, there's different opinions on this one. Maybe a 75-pitch max. Who knows? If he has some clean innings and he's able to go, maybe a little bit more. But he's got a big fastball, anywhere from 91, 95, 96 miles an hour. It's a 4-pitch mix. But the whole big thing is, how does he come back after a 4-day rest?
He faces an NC State lineup that in the first inning yesterday in the semifinal against Pitt hit 3 home runs. And it began with this guy, the veteran center fielder Devontae Brown, who you see 6 times this year has hit a leadoff home run.
Devontae Brown, your table setter. And not only is he a table setter, he's a guy that can go deep, get you on the board early and often. And he has been doing it a lot this year, 6 times.
What do you think? 10,000, how many are we going to get in here?
I feel like hopefully the fire marshals are not looking at this crowd right now, because there's going to be a whole bunch.
It's the 312th meeting all-time in baseball between Carolina and State, but it's only the 2nd time that they have met in the ACC Championship game. And the first, the only time before today, 1990. And now we do it again on a gorgeous Sunday in Uptown Charlotte. Devontae Brown in the box. Carlson deals, and off we go, ready to crown a champion. This is an NC State team projected to be a 2 seed. Remember last year they went to Omaha. A great season, got so hot at the end of the year. Much like Carolina is right now. Devontae Brown's cooking for the Pack, and he's got a leadoff double into the right field corner.
Well, if you're NC State and Devontae Brown, that's how you want to start it off against Carlson. 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and you're going to go ahead and just take it to right field, get into scoring position already in the first inning.
Brown is on in front of Gino Groover, one of a few transfers in this NC State lineup that head coach Elliott Avent brought in off of last year's team. Danny Soretti picks it short and throws out Groover. Well, here he is. He's been a cult hero who has gone mainstream ever since the first weekend of the college baseball season back in February. He hit home runs then. He has hit home runs this week as well in the ACC tournament. The 3 home run game against Miami in pool play, and a first inning home run yesterday in the semis.
Oh boy, and I tell you what, the NC State fans are here in abundance, and they're ready to look at Tommy White just take that ball out to right center again.
That's where so much of his power is. Makes it all the more impressive what he's done as a freshman. Florida native, ACC Freshman of the Year. Earlier this week named a semifinalist for the Golden Spikes Award, and one of only 2 freshmen in the country on that list. Carlson behind 2-0 against Tommy White.
Now here's where you have to be a little bit careful with Tommy White. You don't want to just throw him a fastball right over the middle of the plate. Way too much power to be doing that. You do have first base open. I don't care. This is a championship game. There's a lot on the line here, not only for that trophy, but again, we're talking about a top 8 seed of UNC can pull this off. So you don't want to just go ahead and give it to him.
3-0. He's been intentionally walked 15 times this season. That is 5 times as many times as Spencer Torkelson got intentionally walked when he was a freshman and when he hit 26 home runs. And Torque was the first overall pick a couple of years ago. 3-0.
I wanted to say, are they going to give him the green light on 3-0? Because I sure would. I want my guy up there, my home run hitter, to feel like, hey, we're trusting in you to be able to swing at strikes. And if he throws you one and makes a mistake, go and get it.
The one batting glove, the chains, the deep squat in the right-hand box. It all personifies Tommy Tanks. 3-1. And he takes a walk. 2 base runners for the Pack here in the first.
It's a smart pitch by Carlson. No reason. After you missed on that one fastball, the 3-0, you thought you can sneak in there and get a strike he was going to take. Once you saw he was going to be aggressive on it, go ahead, put him on first. You put yourself in an opportunity where you can get a double play.
So 2 aboard for the cleanup man and the shortstop, Josh Hood. A redshirt junior from Vineland, New Jersey, and a transfer from Penn. So we talked about Carlson, who was great the other day. Those 6 innings of 1-run ball against Clemson. He threw 95 pitches in that game. Like we said, 4 days rest, and Scott Forbes did say to us this morning, maybe it's 75, but maybe it's longer if he has clean innings that aren't super taxing. Just misses with 95.
And here's one of the things, and why I say it's okay to go ahead and walk Tommy White, put yourself in double play order. Hood has hit into 8 ground ball double plays already this year, so he is prone to do that. And you're right, for Max Carlson, You just don't want him to have those 30-pitch innings.
Fisted foul, 1-2.
And that's one of the things that Coach Forbes told us. If he is able to have innings where he is just rolling through them, that pitch count might go up. But if he has one of these taxing innings where it's a 30-pitch inning, there's a good chance that he's going to be coming out.
I think Scott Forbes was maybe just looking back at the crowd and admiring everyone here for this one on a Sunday afternoon.
It is a packed house all over.
1-2 pitch. Lashed foul into the netting. Scott Forbes said to us that he was so excited for Max Carlson to pitch on this stage in front of this audience because he thinks it'll help next weekend in the NCAA regionals and beyond, pitching in an ACC title game. With Scott Forbes in his second season at the helm of this program. On the ground left side and past the dive of Horvath in the left field. Brown races around and the Pack strikes first. It's 1-0.
Oh, just a great swing. Gets those hands inside the ball. Is able to sneak it through the 6-hole. Oh, you almost had it, Horvath, on the dive. Devontae Brown never slows down all the way home with the head first slide. Oh, he's pumped, and I would be too if I was Josh Hood.
Guy who's had to wait a long time to play this type of baseball again. The Ivy League being effectively out the last couple of years. Well, Scott Forbes just came out of his dugout and he wants to know something about what happened rounding third.
Yeah, I think what they're saying is that Devontae Brown missed third base. They didn't appeal at third. They called him safe. But Forbes said, no, I want to go ahead and take a better look at this one because we think he may have missed it.
Hey, loose those hands, yeah, loose.
Let's have a look.
Did the heel touch? Did the heel touch the front part of third base? It's tough to see. Umpire's right there, right on it, looking at it. I don't know if that heel clips it. I see a little space.
I see space too.
I see space.
So the call stands. Nothing conclusive, apparently, to overturn that.
It was too tough because you didn't know if maybe that even the cleat, if the cleat touches without us being able to see it, that's technically touching third base. So that's a tough one.
And so this inning now moves to Noah Souls batting. 5-spot right fielder for NC State. First 4 guys came up on 13 pitches total against Carlson.
And this is where Scott Forbes wanted to stay away from these big innings. Right now looking for that ground ball.
Got the miss from Souls. He's had a breakout season this year in his 3rd year with NC State and has solidified right field. He, like his teammates, has been swinging it well here in Charlotte. NC State with wins over Wake Forest, Miami, and Pitt in this tournament.
Yeah, Noah Souls, you just like you said, he has been red hot here at this tournament. 4 for 9. He's hit a home run, 3 RBIs, 444 average. And now he's up with man on first and second. Try to get himself an RBI again, get this game going.
Just took off speed from Carlson. Good changeup that Max Carlson's got. Part of a 4-pitch mix for the right-hander. The curve and the slider for the 6'1" righty. Two-two. Bouncer back over the mound towards second. Soretti got the bag, got the throw. It's 2. Danny Soretti is slick. We have seen it already here in Charlotte and across his career. He turns to himself and gets Carolina coming up in the bottom of the first. 19 down. They were unranked to start this season, but now, as we told you, they are red hot over the last month or so, and they've got great history in this tournament and on these stages as recently as 2019, the last time they were ACC tournament champions. And so with how well they are playing, they've got a lineup where it feels like everyone is contributing, but no bat bigger than Danny Soretti all season.
No, Danny Soretti just has been on fire. En fuego, as we would say in Miami. Last 16 games, a .439 batting average. He has been the key to this turnaround for the UNC Tar Heels.
They all face one of the NC State weekend starters this year, Logan Whitaker, making his 14th start of the season, and ERA you see right at 4.
It's not an overpowering fastball, anywhere from 88 to 91, but the location of that fastball is going to be key. His go-to pitch is that changeup. He can throw his curveball and his changeups all for strikes, but they all play off that fastball location.
Logan Whitaker's in his 4th season with NC State. This is the first year he has pitched at all. He didn't play at any point his first 3 years due to injury. And he wasn't even officially on the roster each of the previous 2 years. But here he is in an ACC title game as Angel Zarate leads off for North Carolina.
All right, we talk about this crowd, you know, and how good it is for Max Carlson to get out here because of the crowd and how good it's going to be for him next week. Well, how about for Logan Whitaker, too? I mean, any time that you're able to pitch in front of a crowd like this, oh man, just gives you chills.
North Carolina native from Winston-Salem, facing Zarate, who Scott Forbes will tell you at every turn is one of the most underrated players in this conference. Look what he's done in the tournament.
I mean, just unbelievable. Hitting 500, home run, 2 RBIs. He's just stayed hot. And that big turnaround that we talked about UNC and where they kept going and how they've been playing, well, he's been a big key to that.
3rd team all conference. One-two pitch. Zarate pulls it. It's hit number 9 for him this week. Big turn. Noah Souls got it in quickly. It's a leadoff single. Well, if you go back to April, late in the month, North Carolina got swept at Virginia. They were sitting at 8-13 in the ACC. They had lost 5 straight ACC series, and now hardly anyone can slow them down.
You can't. That batting average at .301 in their last 16 games, scoring almost 8 runs per game, hitting the ball out of the ballpark. I mean, just incredible. But the big key for me has been the ERA at 3.41 for them. That is what's helped them.
The starting pitching in particular from Max Carlson and Brandon Schaefer as well, who threw a shutout earlier in this tournament. And he, by the way, will join us later on during this game. Check on Zarate, got away momentarily from Gino Gruber. Matt Horvath, the batter you saw. He's been another one of the batters all season. OPS right around 950. 4th best on the team. He's got power with his 16 home runs. He's got 18 bags, too. Draft eligible sophomore. 1-1. He had one of the big ABs earlier this season in the series against NC State, which both of these teams acknowledge was probably the turning point for North Carolina. Horvath in the first game of that series had the go-ahead sac fly in the 9th inning. A 1-run win for the Heels. have said to us this week, we knew if we could just get a couple of those one-run wins, the confidence level would go up, because to that point it had been fragile. And he looks mighty comfortable down there.
Well, here's the thing that we both know. This game will not end 1-0. There's way too much offense on both sides of this field.
And because of this field, this ballpark, where it has been flying out throughout this tournament. Roller left side foul. We had a semifinal yesterday with a 4 seed, an 8 seed, a 10 seed, and an 11. And all 12 teams crushing baseballs regardless of the win. One-two again. Distant foul. ACC as a conference, when you zoom out nationally, it's been as good as it gets across the land. You always think of SEC, ACC.
Yep.
But man, what the ACC has done, and looking like they're going to send for sure 10 teams to the NCAA tournament.
And not only that, when you talk about, top seeds going to the tournament.
In the air, right center. Noah Souls ambles in for the first out. So 1 out, 1 on for Danny Soretti, the shortstop who, during this stretch of all these wins for North Carolina, as you said, he's as hot as anyone. He
is as hot as anyone. 2 hits in 10 of his last 16, hitting .439. Couple bombs to go with it, 20 RBIs. And not only is he doing it with the bat, boy, he is slick at shortstop.
You saw he's got 10 multi-hit games in that time. He had a 26-game hitting streak that got snapped last Saturday in the regular season finale against Florida State. A guy whose draft year was last year, but ended up back in North Carolina for a 4th season. And boy, has he made the most of it. All in a strike from Whitaker. Had the home run Friday in the win over the top seed, one of the 3 dust teams in the national polls, Virginia Tech. And then a huge hit in the 8th inning yesterday. A 2-run double when Carolina had just gone up by 1. He widened the gap to 5-2 against Notre Dame. Carolina put up 5 straight 2-out runs to win that game after it had been 2-2 late. Soretti strikes out. That's the good change from Logan Whitaker.
And that's the pitch that Logan Whitaker is going to need to utilize a lot today, because this UNC team is good. And you can see the movement on that changeup. Starts middle away and just keeps running off the plate. Tough for a lefty. You see it. It looks like a great pitch to hit. And by the time you go to hit it, it's already off and it's a ball.
Elliot Avent, Whitaker's head coach, he loves a good changeup. Whitaker's got one, just threw one, and now starts out off speed to Vane Honeycutt, North Carolina true freshman and center fielder, one of the best rookies out of the ACC. Third-team all-conference out of Salisbury, North Carolina.
And this is where I want to see Vane Honeycutt kind of get bigger in his age. He's given him all of second base. This is a championship game. You got to get these runs. You can hit a ground ball to second and start running.
Makes this one foul.
So as a hitter, you understand that, you see that. I don't care if they're throwing me in. I don't care. I'm going to give you in. But if you make a mistake out over the plate, I'm going to hit my ground ball to second base. I will get my hit. I'm going to move the runners over. We can have guys in second and third, because that's how fast Honeycutt is. He can hit a ground ball straight to second, and it could be a double.
2-1. Pulls Drills this one. Deep left field. Gone. To the buses in left for Vane Honeycutt. And North Carolina leads. Home run number 20 for the freshman.
That's right! Hey! That's right!
Now Alberto Osuna, the DH. Told you the ball's been flying as advertised.
Yep, Vane Honeycutt just said, hey, Gabby, I get what you're saying, but I could do this too, and I can get this ball out to left field, especially if they want to throw me in. I can get my hands inside the baseball.
108 miles an hour off the bat. You're not going to love the TrackMan reading. You're not going to agree with it.
I actually will agree with this one.
375.
I would agree with that one because I saw where it hit. I saw where it landed. It was high is the problem. It didn't have that trajectory, that 25, 30 degree trajectory that gives it really that distance. It was just a majestic home run.
Full count on Osuna. Vane Honeycutt was drafted last summer out of high school by the Giants. 20th round. And Vance said it was exciting to get drafted, but I know I can get bigger, faster, stronger over the next 3 years. Osuna walks after the home run.
And this is Vane Honeycutt, gets an off-speed changeup just over the middle of the plate. And boy, he did not miss it. It was high, it was deep, and it gave the Tar Heels a 2-1 lead.
You know what's scary? Scott Forbes has told us that Honeycutt is just scratching the surface. For the casual fan tuning in, check back like 2 years from now, and you're going to be hearing about him in a major way.
Well, what's funny is Zarate was playing center field, wasn't it? And then all of a sudden they had practice, and Honeycutt's out there running down balls, and Zarate tells Coach Forbes, like, I can't do that. So he might need to be our center fielder, and I'll go over here and play right.
Hey, Skip, that's
our center
the
fielder.
guy that's our center fielder.
That guy is way faster than me, and yeah, he needs to play center. And not only that, we talk a lot about Tommy White and all his home runs. I mean, Honeycutt's right there with him now.
20.
20.
Along with nearly 30 stolen bases.
It's incredible.
26th pitch of the inning is bounced foul by Mikey Madej, the left fielder for North Carolina in the 6th spot.
Yeah, talk about another guy who's been having an unbelievable tournament, Mikey Madej. 545, 6 for 11 entering today with a home run. Are you kidding me? I mean, this whole entire team up and down the lineup has just been annihilating baseballs.
Scott Forbes said he was outstanding yesterday, all over the base paths. Lifts this one on a 1-2, short right center, with Souls in to end the inning. But North Carolina leads. Solo shot yesterday, 2-run jack today for Vane Honeycutt. 108. Majestic blast. Carolina up 1 after. For those of you just joining us here on ESPN2, postseason college baseball ACC Championship game. North Carolina and NC State a massive rivalry. They were the winners yesterday in the semifinals of this tournament that started with 12 teams on Tuesday here in Uptown Charlotte. We are in the second inning. NC State got one in the top of the first, and North Carolina just got a 2-run homer in the last of the first from their stud freshman, Vane Honeycutt. Alongside the former big league all-star Gabby Sanchez, Mike Monaco with you as NC State bats in the second. And Gabby, what a stage, what a rivalry, and a packed house for this one at Truist Field.
I was going to say, what a crowd. My goodness. For a lot of these guys, you don't get crowds like this. And to have a championship game, and you have NC State going up against UNC rivalry game? Come on.
And we got North Carolina's ace throwing 95, Max Carlson, with a strikeout of JT Jarrett. So this is what you missed if you're just joining us. A bomb, 108 miles an hour off the bat from Vane Honeycutt. His 20th home run of the season set off a scramble in left. And in this tournament here in Charlotte, that's the way it's gone all week. An ACC tournament record for home runs.
54. And guess what? We're going to see that number go up because both these teams are going to hit more home runs today.
Look, if you're a casual baseball fan and you just landed here, you were watching something else, you're flipping around, stick around the rest of the day. We've got so much college baseball coming today, and this year in particular has been so fun. We've got a dominant team at the top in Tennessee. You're going to watch them here after this game is done in the SEC title game. And then we've got a bunch of great teams, some upheaval behind them, and a ton of really good offenses. It's been a record-setting year offensively across the country.
I mean, if you're a casual fan and you like the long ball and you like offense, well, you're tuned into the right channel because that's what you're going to get today. Especially with that guy right there with the glasses. Yeah, that's Tommy Tanks. Tommy White.
As big a star as any in this sport. 27 home runs for the freshman. One of the two best freshmen in the country. He leads this NC State team against their rival, North Carolina, here in the ACC title game. His teammate Dom Palali, the batter. 2-2 from Max Carlson. It's cut out and missed. 96 from Carlson. Well, Tommy White has had home run records falling all season, and in particular recently. And his home run yesterday in the semifinals set the NCAA D1 freshman record that had stood since 1990.
Just an incredible hitter. And what I like most about Tommy White is that his home runs, majority of the time, center field, right center. He is going alto taco on you to right field. That shows how much power he has, the way that he stands, the amount of power that he generates, the coil from his bat. Just majestic home runs to right field.
He looks as cool as can be as well.
He's got the towel, making sure keeps everything nice and cool. Got the big shades on.
Hard ground ball,
Blowing bubble gum. I mean, come on. That's a freshman right there. Are you kidding me?
Sir Thomas Tanks. Max Carlson is trying to breeze through 6, 7, and 8 in the NC State lineup. Facing Peyton Green.
I'll say with Max Carlson, you would not know that he's on 4-day rest because that fastball is coming out of his hand mighty good. Now, I will say this. I feel like the crowd has definitely something to do with it because that adrenaline's pumping right now.
Gets a roller from Green off the end of the bat to Danny Soretti. And a 12-pitch, 1-2-3 second. Alert the fire marshal. Or maybe don't.
Don't.
We're going to break records attendance-wise in Charlotte. Uptown Charlotte, here in the lovely state of North Carolina. Great hosts for this tournament. And a rivalry that can be explained in 2 words. State and Carolina. For the 312th time these baseball programs collide. But only the second time in an ACC championship game. The other was a North Carolina win back in 1990. Logan Whitaker is the NC State starting pitcher. Fourth-year right-hander from Winston-Salem, who had to throw 28 pitches in the bottom of the first. He gets 7, 8, 9 in the Carolina lineup here, beginning with the catcher, Tomas Frick. Whitaker, too, has also pitched in this tournament already. He's not overpowering. He's got a very good changeup that we already saw back in the first. Roller to third. And Peyton Green bobbles, recovers, not in time. Frick is on an error by Peyton Green.
And this looked to just be a regular routine ground ball. Just kind of plays it off to the side. Ball bounces off the heel of his glove, gets away from him enough. And Frick understands what this game means. If they win, they could be a top 8 seed. He's hustling down that line, and he's going to be safe on the error by Green.
And now Hunter Stokely rolls one past the dive of JT Jarrett into right center. 2 pitches. It's now first and third for the Tar Heels.
We talk about all these other guys and how they're doing. Hunter Stokely has been red hot as well in this lineup. In this tournament, prior to that one, he was .455, 3 doubles, 5 hits, 11 at-bats. He's hitting .500 now in this tournament.
He's the sophomore first baseman who his head coach, Scott Forbes, says if there's one guy on the team who's going to make you smile pretty much all the time, it's Stoke, as they call him. Positive guy, same attitude at all times. And he wasn't a starter to begin the season, but he's played very well. First and third for the 9th spot in the Carolina order. Colby Wilkerson, the sophomore second baseman, who just in the last couple of weeks has inserted himself into the starting 9 at second, mainly to solidify the defense. Fouls one back.
You know what I would like to see right here? Wilkerson go ahead and do a push bunt to first base. What happens is, and Tampa Bay did this a whole bunch, and it's tough. Man on first and third, Stokely's at first. You can read at third with Tomas Frick. So you bunt it to first. What happens is Tomas Frick, he can come up the line. If it's a good bunt, he can end up scoring almost like a squeeze play, and then you still get another guy in scoring position in Stokely.
No square. 2-1 the count on Wilkerson. I like the idea because it's a guy who, as of 3 weeks ago, had 6 ABs all season. But he can handle the bat a bit. 2-1. Wilkerson out in front.
And what it does, too, is it moves guys around. So Stokely, he can go ahead and get off. You got Frick at third. He can go ahead and get off. And if it's a good enough bunt, Frick reads it. He's coming in. It's a tough play for a first baseman to be able to come in, field it, and make that throw to home.
Whitaker's 2-2. Vane Honeycutt already took your advice, so why wouldn't Colby Wilkerson?
Vane Honeycutt said, how about I just do this instead and hit a homer, when I was saying you should go ahead and hit a ground ball to second. He said a home run scores 2.
First and third, nobody out. 2-2. Hits Wilkerson. And that is the last thing Logan Whitaker wanted to do.
That is the last thing that he wanted to do, because now you have bases loaded, you have no outs, and you have Zarate up, and just right, looked like in the armpit area. Don't rub it, gets to first base, he's good to go.
Self-inflicted damage for NC State here in the last of the second. So that means Logan Whitaker gets a visit from his pitching coach, Clint Chrysler. NC State had to play its first 2 games of this tournament on Tuesday and Wednesday. And so for those maybe not as familiar with college baseball, that's tricky because you're coming off when you play your conference weekends over the weekend when you line up your aces, and then you got to come back here trying to win. And coming in here, NC State was projected at least around the bubble, and they had to play Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, they had to play Tuesday, Wednesday. And here's the other thing, too, that you have to think about. They pitched on Tuesday, Wednesday. If you don't throw your starter today, you're going to have to wait 10 days before they make their next start for regionals. And that is a lot of time waiting, and pitchers do not like to do that. Of course, there's things that you can do. You could throw sim games, you could do that kind of concept, but you can't really do that because you're playing right now.
Angel Zarate bounces it off of JT Jarrett into right field. Frick scores, Stokely right behind him. 2 runs in for Carolina, and the lead is 3. And hopefully JT Jarrett's all right.
Boy, it looked like to me that ball hit JT Jarrett in the face. It looked like it took a tough hop on him. Zarate hits this ball good. It's a good pitch, and it looks like that ball just hit right off the edge of the grass and bounced backwards on him. And that ball gets through.
JT Jarrett, in the words of his head coach, the best defensive second baseman he's ever coached. So sure-handed, took that hop, looked like off the face, and 2 runs come in.
Yeah, it looks like he was able to get his hand up in time. It's a tough ball because you're thinking it's going to be a double play. When you're going to go make that play, you're going out there. It takes a tough hop and bounces right back at you. You're trying to protect yourself.
Now Mac Horvath lifts one towards short at Josh Hood for the first down. Well, there in the bullpen is Matt Willitson. Been in the weekend rotation the last few years for NC State, and he came on in relief on Wednesday in NC State's win over Miami. And Willitson went 6 innings in that one. So 3 days rest.
And that's going to be the tough one. How many pitches is he going to be able to throw? Because you're doing the same thing. It's almost like a bullpen day for a lot of these guys.
Danny Soretti yanks the first pitch to the right field wall. Fair ball. Wilkerson scores. Zarate stops at third. And it is a Carolina hit parade these first 2 innings.
Well, we're not expecting anything else. What we're expecting are UNC to keep hitting. And that's what they've been doing, and they've been doing it for a while now. This is a good team up and down. Soretti has been one of those main focus parts of this team and that offense. He continues to swing a hot bat, and all of a sudden, the Tar Heels are up 5-1, and there's still some outs in this inning.
Remember, Whitaker pitched today on short rest again as well. 3 days for him after he was the starter Wednesday. Went 45 pitches, 2 1/3, got roughed up by Miami and came out. And now he departs here on Championship Sunday in the ACC title game with North Carolina already up by 4. Fourth-year right-hander Logan Whitaker, who, when we were chatting with his pitching coach this morning, Clint Chrysler said the innings for a guy who didn't pitch collegiately the last 3 years due to injury, they're catching up to him a little bit. And Clint Chrysler said he's wearing down, and he departs after 4 outs.
Yeah, he's wearing down, and he also told us that that fastball was the key to being his success if he's able to spot it. And he was leaving it over the place, and Matt Willitson comes in, and again, another starting pitcher for NC State. Let's see how many pitches he's going to be able to throw, but he has been very, very good. It's a high arm slot. The velocity has increased. It's 90 to 92. He's a 4-pitch guy. Has a slider, a curveball. It's more of a slurvy kind of pitch. He has a very good sinking changeup.
And Vane Honeycutt, first pitch swinging, left field, again! His second of the ball game. In the first inning, he became the first ever 2020 player at Carolina as a freshman. And now he's got number 21.
My goodness. It's a fastball sinking in on the hands. I love the way that he pulls those hands in and uses that backside. 3-run home run to go along with the 2-run home run that he hit in the first.
2 innings, 2 bombs. If you thought you were going to tune into the Tommy White Show, well, don't forget about Vane Honeycutt.
Vane Honeycutt's on that side saying, I know Tommy White has been doing it, but look at me. I'm a freshman too that's been doing some big things. And doing it in the grandest stage right now in the ACC Championship with all these fans out. Boy.
Alberto Osuna chops one foul. Vane Honeycutt was in the leadoff spot for a lot of this season. And about a month ago when we had North Carolina, he got bumped down to the 9-hole. But he's back up in the cleanup spot. He's got some heavy-duty power behind him. And Osuna, the home run leader. Entering today.
Mike, I had a manager in Jack McKeon, and he always said, you need to be a biscuit. When things get hot, you rise to the occasion. Right now, Vane Honeycutt's the biggest biscuit I've seen so far.
Biscuits with the boss out in the Premier League. Osuna walks for the second time in as many innings. And so Honeycutt's now back in the cleanup spot, and he's made big adjustments to his swing. You see the data on the home run. And really in particular with his hands. He's a lot more direct now compared to where he was. He had his hands right behind his ear, and now they're more off the back shoulder. And we asked Scott Forbes, his head coach this week, how significant are those changes really? And he said very significant to Vane.
Yeah, very significant because now he freed himself up to be able to get to those pitches. He was not locking himself in.
And that can lead to swing and miss when you're locked up?
So when you're locked in, what it can lead to is that you're late on balls. So you're getting there and your hands aren't free. So you're locking yourself up, and all of a sudden now these fastballs that are 94, 95, they're getting in on those hands because you don't have that freedom. You get away from your body a little bit. Now you have that room to have that freedom to be able to swing, and it's been all the success for Honeycutt because once he got that freedom, he's athletic, extremely athletic. Probably one of the most athletic guys on this field right now. So you give him freedom, and not only that, he starts to have success. Oof.
Two homers, 5 driven in. This is Mikey Madej, the batter from North Carolina, with still only 1 out. 6 runs in. And Willitson, remember, he's not just on short rest in this outing, he's been on short rest over his last few. Last weekend, final weekend of the regular season, 116 pitches on Friday. Comes back 4 days rest in relief on Wednesday. 6 innings, 89 pitches, and now here he is, pressed into duty just a few days later in the second.
Well, I think for Willitson right now, it's basically, hey, this is going to be your bullpen day. Now, it's going to be a little bit more because, of course, you got more adrenaline rushing through your body, but we need you to throw pitches anyway, so might as well do it in the game rather than just on the side mound. A little bit more intensity when you're throwing, but at the end of it, you still need to be prepared for your next outing and your next start in regionals.
Full count on Mikey Madej. This is an NC State team that is without its best starting pitcher. Preseason second-team All-American Sam Highfill, who was one of the darlings of the PAC's Omaha team last year that went to the far reaches of the College World Series before an infamous end. Hit on the ground, past Groover, right field base hit. Mikey Madej, the hitting machine, with another. Osuna chugs the third, and they're at the corners. You're a Marlins guy, right?
I am a Marlins guy. Right now, I'm concentrating more on this game.
This is popped up foul by Tomas Frick, who led off this inning, reaching on an error.
But you are right. I mean, the Mets have been playing just really good baseball. I believe they're 8.5 up on the East. Who knows? Maybe a couple years, Vane Honeycutt will be going to the Marlins, huh?
Yeah. Said it earlier, but if you're just joining us, again, drafted by the Giants last summer, but didn't sign out of high school. An 8-1 UNC lead on NC State. Willinson's 1-1. Pulled. That hooks foul. It's down by the Carolina bullpen. On the other side, we've got Chris Villaman, the NC State closer, who can give you length, who's been a starter at times in his career. Loosen. He threw 12 pitches and finished off the semifinal win last night.
And it's one of those situations that you start to look at the score, and I know that it's only the second inning, but now you're kind of looking like, okay, if this keeps going the way that it's going, we're not going to just throw our guys out there. We're going to give guys work. We're going to do that way because we do need to prepare for the tournament that's coming up. On the other hand, too, with UNC, you don't want to just kind of give away the game either, so you still trying to win this ball game.
Two. On the ground right side, Jarrett scoops. He flips, Hood turns. It's 2. Inning over. Damage done. North Carolina with a 6th spot. Vane Honeycutt is the early star in this one. 2-run shot in the first, 3-run bomb in the second. A big inning for North Carolina, leading by 7 in Charlotte. They started in Charlotte. ACC Championship game at Truist Field, the home of the Charlotte Knights, AAA affiliate of the Chicago White Sox. And NC State and North Carolina tangling as we head to the 3rd inning. Gabby Sanchez, Mike Monaco, our entire crew with you, and all Tar Heels so far. Very different pitching scenarios for this one. We've already dug into how NC State is short-staffed, and then on the other side, you've got Max Carlson for North Carolina. He's facing 9-1-2 for the PAC, beginning with the freshman catcher Jacob Kozar. Carlson just cruised through the second on 12 pitches, struck out 2 on 95 and 96 mile-an-hour fastballs respectively, and he's the staff ace. He's got 6 swings and misses he's generated already.
I mean, that fastball is explosive out of his hand, and it's getting on these NC State players
like that.
And the big thing is, too, is how long can he maintain that 94, 95 mile an hour fastball, because he will drop. Usually around innings 3 through 5, that fastball velocity will start to go to 90, 92.
And Scott Forbes said to us this morning, his head coach, that that'll be one of the next steps in his progression, that he'll be able to carry 93 to 95 into the 5th inning, and that'll make him a different guy, which is exciting because he's already very good.
Oh, he's very, very good. Has really good off-speed pitches to go along with that good fastball.
Cozart to left to the track. Mikey Madej, shades on for the first out. So North Carolina, again, winners of 14 of their last 16. They are 4th in the RPI. And D1 Baseball over the last few days, which does such great work covering this sport and also projecting the NCAA tournament field, has moved them into a hosting conversation. So one of the top 16 national seeds. You get to be a 1 seed in the regional. Right now they're at the 11 overall seed.
And they also said, too, if they're able to win here today against NC State, there's a very good possibility they actually go to one of those top 8, which means that they would host regionals, and if they're able to win regionals, host a super regional. And it all comes down to that RPI, the strength of schedule. That is what's incredible to me. A 2 in strength of schedule, 2nd hardest strength of schedule in NCAA baseball.
For a proud program that has been to Omaha in the College World Series 11 times, including 7 times in the last 15 regionals. 2-1 on Devontae Brown, the NC State leadoff man and center fielder, who doubled and scored in the first. And since then, 8 straight for North Carolina. Carlson's 2-1. Roller up the third base line and foul. Despite running it out and Hunter Stokely showing off the vert.
You had the fans, they were clapping. They thought that they had a guy on base, those NC State fans. But no, it's a foul. That's the tough walk back. You know, when you hit a ground ball, you think it's going to be fair. You get over there, you run it out full speed, and then they're like, no, you got to go get your bag. And as you're walking back, all you're trying to do is just catch your breath. Give me a second here.
Come on, Blue, throw me a bone.
Say it louder for me.
2-2. Full count on the always patient Devontae Brown. Carlson's payoff pitch. Foul back. Yeah, you got North Carolina hovering around, like we said, that top 8. You've got the highest ranked team in the ACC in the top 25, Virginia Tech, who is the regular season champion. There's going to be a lot of 1 seeds out of the ACC. Virginia Tech projected as the 3 seed. Brown strikes out, 2 away. So again, Virginia Tech 3, Miami 7, Notre Dame 8. What do you think a North Carolina win today does do?
So a North Carolina win today, I think it puts them in a top 8 seed. I think what happens is that Miami gets bumped down after their showing here in the tournament, and they'll be hosting a regional. I just don't think that they will be hosting a super regional unless crazy things happen. So I think that you will have North Carolina vault in. I think Notre Dame will stay where they're at, or maybe go up to that 7. North Carolina will go to that 8, which is crazy to think because North Carolina wasn't even ranked, which I feel like they should have been. But they're catapulting everybody right now with the way they're playing baseball.
Gino Gruber, the batter, a ball and a strike. He grounded to short his first time.
What do you think will happen?
I think they're going to threaten. I don't know for sure if they'll be top 8. I guess the more I think about it, RPI being what it is, we know in a lot of different sports across the NCAA how heavily the selection committee leans on that metric. I think they will be if they were to win this game, and maybe even if they don't.
I think that there's maybe that possibility if they don't, just because of how good they've been playing and because of that RPI and the strength of schedule. Or you have to really put those both into perspective. It's going to be interesting.
And if they are, how about this, to put it very bluntly? 8 seed in the ACC tournament. Top 8 seed nationally in the NCAA tournament.
That is how good the ACC conference has been this year.
(3-1) on the way. And again, for the casual fan, the significance of being top 8 instead of 9 or 10 or 11, which is still good. You get to host that first weekend. But second weekend, Super Regional, 16 teams left. It's best of 3 at the site of the top 8.
I mean, when I was at Miami, we hosted both years that we got it in Supers, and it was huge. The fans that are out there, the fans that come to support, you have that home feeling. You don't have to stay in a hotel. You get to stay in your own house. It's different. You already know the field. You have that comfortable feeling where you're at. So it is big to be able to be one of those top 8 seeds and know that, hey, we win regionals, we're staying right here, and you got to come to our house.
The great Aaron Fitt of D1 Baseball, who, along with Kendall Rogers and company, they cover this sport as well as anyone. And it's been that way for a while. He just tweeted that heading into this week, he thought no chance top 8 for North Carolina. And even this morning, thought, probably not. But now he's thinking, yeah, maybe, because a win today and they would have a 19-15 aggregate record in conference play in the regular season in the tournament here. And have won, again, if they win this, long way to go sitting here in the third, but 15 of their last 17.
They've just been playing outstanding baseball. The pitching has been there. The timely hitting. And then we talk about the big home runs coming from every single player, too, just all around top 1 through 9. Just been hitting the ball extremely well.
This will be the 10th pitch coming up from Carlson to Gino Groover. For now, it's a hypothetical because the guys like Vane Honeycutt, Danny Soretti and company. We will check back later in the game and selection show tomorrow.
I can't wait. Get your popcorn ready.
3-2 on a line, slicing toward Honeycutt and down for a hit. What an AB by Gino Groover. One of the best NC State bats all season. The Charlotte transfer on the 10th pitch, a 2-out single. And so he's on in front of Tommy White, who walked his first time. And it wasn't an intentional walk, but it was an I want no part of you walk from Max Carlson.
It was one of those intentional, unintentional walks. I'm going to go ahead and go 3-0. I'll try to get a fastball just so you can see it. Oh, you want to swing 3-0? Yeah, no, here's a ball. Go to first base.
The freshman leader in all those categories, and no freshman in NCAA history with more home runs in a season. But he rolls to short. Soretti retires him, and the inning is over. Carolina red hot and leading by 7 in the ACC Championship. How about the game yesterday? 25-22 out west as Hunter Stokely rounds out to start this bottom of the third for North Carolina. So you've got 9 through 16 here. Texas was the preseason #1. North Carolina again sitting at 11. Cliff Godwin has done a great job with East Carolina again this season. And Florida, who will play against Tennessee right here on ESPN2 in the SEC Championship game. They've been hot. Tennessee, as the kids say, is a wagon.
Is a wagon.
Really good.
Oh, that means really good?
Jower Chopper from Colby Wilkerson to short. Good pick. Gino Groover on Josh Hood's throw. 2 quick outs for Matt Willitson. Tomorrow, the selection show. Regionals next weekend. Following weekend, Super Regionals to find out which 8 teams head to Nebraska. It's been a postseason feel all week here in Charlotte. ACC tournament. These are the last 2 standing. North Carolina took down Notre Dame yesterday, and NC State in front of more than 8,000 against Pitt in the nightcap of the semis. Angel Zarate, the leadoff man, is batting for the 3rd time already here in the 3rd. Singled in the 1st, then had the 2-run single that went up high off of JT Jarrett, the NC State second baseman, last inning. Fifth-year right fielder for the Tar Heels. Gets tied up and got a piece of it. Willitson deals. Zarate floats that one into the seats. If you were in the seats, what would you be chewing on right now? Oh, we got the keto diet going.
We got the keto diet. So just right now, Slim Jim, baby. That's what I got.
It's gross.
Actually, not bad.
It's slimy and sweaty.
It's not slimy and sweaty.
It's been festering in your pocket.
They have not been festering in the pocket right in front of me. They were in my pocket for a second.
Long time Marlin and Pirate. Gabby Sanchez. Folks. That's a good spot.
I do like the Kona Ice. We have that at the ballpark here. It's delicious. And you get to make your own, get your own little juices added in there. They
Was
give you
that
the
what
ice.
those people were bringing into the press box yesterday?
Yes.
And you said, where'd you get that?
Yeah. Oh, no, those were not Kona
That was like a
Ice.
root beer
That was a
float.
root beer float or something. That looked delicious, too.
Yeah. Zarate couldn't hold up. He strikes out in a 1-2-3 3rd inning for Matt Willitson. Well, Carolina has hit. They've also pitched here in Charlotte. We'll chat with the guy who threw a shutout a few days ago, Brandon Schaefer. Leading NC State. And we've got one of the Carolina stud pitchers who is kind enough to join us. Brandon Schaefer has the headset on. Brandon, what's going on?
Not much. How you guys doing?
We're good, but I don't know if we're as good as your dugout probably is right now.
Oh, it's fun down here. I'll tell you that. It is fun.
Well, what's the vibe like with the boys?
Everybody's just, you look down here, everybody has a smile on their face. We're just playing, Carolina way, just having fun doing it.
Can you tell us who's behind you?
Like Johnny, Beauvais, and King.
Oh, water on the head. You got to do it.
Do it.
You got to do it.
Come on, King. Give it to him.
On the big board now.
That's awesome. To start out, just what does it feel like as a team when, for the last month or so, whatever it is, you guys are playing as well as you are?
It just goes to show that, obviously we didn't have a good last couple of weeks before this run. But just being able to trust each other and have each other's backs, be able to pick each other up, you really see the team come together down the home stretch when it counts.
Was there a moment in time, a certain game, where you just felt the team basically come together and just go out there and start winning ball games?
Well, I'd say after the Virginia series, that was a rough series for us. We came back, we all kind of got together. We had a team night. And then we just said, you know what, we control our destiny going forward. We just got to start playing better like we know we can. And, you saw that with Wake Forest and then Florida State. And, since then it's just been uphill. We're just, not trying to do too much, just be confident in ourselves and our approach.
Josh Hood just flew out to right field to start this 4th inning against Max Carlson as we visit with Brandon Schaefer, who we just showed your stat line, Brandon, from Friday on this mound against the top seed Virginia Tech. You threw a shutout. What was that like, pitching on this stage and throwing a gem like that?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, you look around, look at this field. This is an awesome place to play. And, it's a good team that we played against. They can swing the bats really well. We knew that going into it. I was just fortunate that it turned out the way it did, and have this great group of guys behind me to do it.
You told us this morning that of the 102 pitches you threw in that game, 99 of them were fastballs?
Yeah, that's right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Why was it such a heavy fastball mix? Like, as a pitcher, what did you see in the swings from, like you said, the Hokies that you said, hey, I'm just going to stick with number one?
I'd say most importantly, I had good command of it. And with the command, there was some movement on it. When it was lower in the zone, I think it was sinking a little bit more. I was able to make it kind of do what I want all night long, and be able to have the slider as a secondary when I need it. But we were getting some weak contacts, some early contacts. We wanted to stay with it, and it worked out for us.
When you take a look around the stadium right now and you see all these fans, what does that do to you?
Well, when I first got here, honestly, it made me a little nervous out there. Not gonna lie.
That's understandable.
Yeah. But as the season went on, you get more used to it. Obviously, this is a little bit bigger stage than even we're used to, but it's really cool. It's really surreal to be able to be here and put on this jersey and play here, and I'm just really lucky to be able to do it.
Yeah, no doubt. Brandon, we got to ask you about your center fielder right now and what Vance has done in the first couple of innings with 2 home runs and 5 driven in.
What hasn't he done, honestly?
Yeah.
He's special. He's a great teammate first and foremost, and then you see what he does in the field, and it's really special.
How about this? He's the first 2020 player in Carolina baseball history.
I believe it.
How fast is he?
I mean, he's fast. You can pretty much tell you he's going to go, and you still can't get him. He's fast.
Do you think he's fast? One of the fastest guys at UNC, or the fastest guy?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I think he could play on the football team, honestly. He's that fast.
He was a good quarterback, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's just a good athlete. I mean, you see that in him just taking the field, but I mean, he is fast. I mean, I can't really compare him to anybody down on this team, but you wouldn't want to see him and me race, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're showing his numbers right now of his steals, his homers, the same with Matt Horvath as well. Can run a little bit with the power. Because we've got 2 outs here in the 4th inning. North Carolina up on NC State by 7. We're with Brandon Schaefer, one of the Carolina starting pitchers. And Max Carlson pitching pretty well as well.
He's throwing it well. Yeah, he's got a lot of life on his fastball today too, which is nice.
What makes him really tough for opponents?
He's got a solid 3-pitch mix. He's the full package. He's not going to walk a lot of guys. He's going to be in the zone, and he's got good stuff. And he's coming off of Tommy John last year, but you've seen him this year put together a really good season, and he's one of those guys when he goes out there, everybody feels pretty confident that we're going to at least be in the game.
JT Jarrett grounds out. Brandon, thank you so much. Work on your 40 times so you can raise fans.
All right, thank you.
We'll be back after this in the bottom of the 4th to Charlotte. Thanks again to Brandon Schaefer for joining us. That was fun.
Oh, he was outstanding.
We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. No swing from Matt Horvath. So it's North Carolina 8, NC State 1. Still a long way to go in this one, and we know what NC State can do offensively and how the ball has been flying in this ballpark and really all season in ballparks across the country. Matt Willitson working after he threw a 1-2-3 last of the 3rd. And he's ahead of Horvath 1-2 to begin the 4th.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing right now is if Willitson can at least just continue doing what he's doing, get the outs, get his offense back in there, because it's a potent offense and they can hit the ball out of the ballpark. They can put a lot of runs up quick. We saw it yesterday, 5 runs in the first inning, and it was quick. It was home run, home run, home run. That's what that team can do in NC State. So just because it's 8-1 right now, you think maybe the game is over. It is not with that offense.
That's outside. Full count on Horvath. Tommy White and company here after a win over Pitt yesterday. Beat Miami before that, and Wake Forest Tuesday in the Pack's first game in Charlotte. Leadoff walk for Horvath. Gabby, you had sunglasses on yesterday during the broadcast. What do you think of those?
I don't think that they would be good on me because it covers too much of my face, and that's my moneymaker. You know, I gotta get those small ones so you can see this beautiful face of mine.
I looked over at you. I don't know, like our 16th inning of the day yesterday. I didn't know you had them. I didn't get to the cough button fast enough to stifle the laughter.
That's what I'm here for. I'm here to make you laugh. And I will say this. You and your Sunday best, you look very sophisticated today.
Oh, yeah?
Oh my gosh.
I'll take it. Thank you.
You're looking sharp.
We had a nice dinner with our crew last night.
Oh, delicious. We had some good steak.
Here's the thing.
The Monaco got a Del Monaco.
Well, when associate producer Chad Fisher gives you a dinner recommendation,
go against
never go the other way. We had a lot of steaks, much to Chad's delight.
We did, and it was delicious. That Del Monaco, ooh,
really good.
It was so good. Don't get the Del Monaco steak. It's not good. Boy, was he wrong.
This is one of the great cities.
Beautiful.
What a backdrop
it's so
for
beautiful.
any ballpark.
Gorgeous.
Zeretti chops it through the whole right side base hit. Horvath first to third. 2 on for Carolina to begin the bottom of the 4th. So Vane Honeycutt can beat starting pitcher Brandon Schaefer in a race, and he can leave the yard as well. He's up to 21 home runs. This was number 20.
Oh, it was number 20. Now it's saying everybody was giving him right side of the field. Go that way. And he said, no, I'm going to go over here. And you know what, Gabby? I'm going to do it again just to show you that I don't need to hit the ball to right field. I can go ahead and pull it over everything. 5 RBIs with his 2 home runs today.
He had 2 home runs Friday as well against Virginia Tech. And the first one in that game of those 2, it just got over the right field wall. He didn't know it got out, and he was sprinting around the base paths. He got toward third, and he saw his head coach say, whoa, whoa, home run.
Yeah, so yeah, but he was like, it's an inside the Parker for me anyways, because nobody was getting it.
Which he's capable of. His third AB, facing Matt Willitson. That's a strike. One of 2 2020 guys across college baseball in the entire country this year. Scott Forbes told us earlier this year he should be able to steal 50 bases in a season if he can cut down on his strikeouts. Fastest player I've ever coached is what Scott Forbes has said about Vane Honeycutt. This one gets past Cozart. Horvath breaks for the plate.
And this is one of those unfortunate ones for Cozart. It's one that you got to just block it in front of you, not try to pick it. You know that it's an off-speed pitch coming, so you need to be prepared for it. I understand that it's going to give you that high hop, but if you get your body in the right position under it, you might be able to knock it down in front of you or a little bit to the side and keep those runners from advancing.
It makes it 9-1. Heels over Pack. Matt Willitson at 45 pitches. And here comes Elliot Avent. Chris Villeman is back up. The great all-conference closer. I think Elliott just might want to have a conversation.
Yeah, this is one of those conversations of, hey, what's going on here? What are we doing? You know, you got to be able, and this is more towards Cozart than it is anybody else. It's not towards Willitson. Kind of talking down, but I think it was more of that frustration of seeing the way that he went after that ball and blocking it and trying to help him understand, hey, we got to do this, and it looks like they are going to go to the pen.
And the guy who got the final 3 outs in that game, Chris Villeman, enters here with a 3-2 count in an 8-run ball game in the 4th inning.
This is that fun one, and Villeman, I'll tell you, it's going to be a fastball. That's what you're going to get. He throws it a bunch, and you have to be ready, and it's a good one. It's got a little cut to it, which gives it deception, especially to lefties. To righties, might get a little bit in trouble because the ball kind of comes right back to the bat.
Misses ball 4 to Honeycutt with a fastball. Are you surprised that it's Chris Villeman in this spot?
Yeah, I'm surprised out of 3-2 coming out of the ball game, I would think. And I understand you look at kind of pitch counts at this point. You look at the score. I don't want him to throw any more pitches. We're playing towards next week, which is a reason that you just go out, hey, listen, we're done. We're going to take you out. I don't want you to throw any more. You're at capacity. But it was interesting. Usually you let a guy finish off the AB, and then you go to whoever's in the bullpen.
It's Alberto Osuna batting. There's a strike from Villeman. So this inning has gone walk, single, walk. Osuna has walked twice. His first 2 trips. Out in front, there's the change.
There's a change. I mean, it's back-to-back changeups, which is something that you don't see out of Villeman. He usually loves to throw that fastball, and he's going to come after you. But it looks like right now he's kind of working on that changeup and working to get that going, and I think he needs to do that.
His pitching coach told us this morning, 88% fastballs.
And been so successful just doing that.
And he strikes out Osuna with a fastball. It's got good spin rate, about 2,400 or so, which is very good. It's not outrageous, but it's effective.
It definitely is effective, and that's that run that it has where it goes right into the righty. When he starts it middle, it comes in to a righty. That's why it's tough against a lefty. A lefty will see it, think it's down the middle, and then all of a sudden it's off the end of the bat. And for Villeman, for me, one of the biggest things for him, and I feel like he is utilizing that changeup a little bit more, is to almost have another second pitch.
That's not good.
Is it a blister, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That is split open.
You need to tell him there it is. It's right in the middle. So there's a couple things that could be, too. When you throw, you will, with your other nail, kind of scratch yourself, which I'm guessing could be a reason why that happened.
Like the nail,
the nail of your index finger. Once you throw, there's times that you release that baseball and it will scratch you, especially the way that he's throwing and how hard he's throwing.
Well, that's excellent to see that he's able to stay in.
Yeah.
Just from a health standpoint, for one of the really enjoyable pitchers to watch in this conference all year. Guy who's got 11 saves this year. The NC State record is 15. He throws 92 on that fastball to start out Mikey Madej.
It's not an overpowering fastball. That's what's crazy about the fastball usage, where he throws it so much, and it's not one of these guys that you look at, oh, he's 97 to 99. Yeah, it's 91, 92, might top out 93. So it's not the craziest fastball, but it just has that good run to it. It's deceptive. It gets on hitters a lot more than a regular four-seam fastball.
He's facing Madej. Ball and a strike with one out in the 4th. Off speed to Madej. Villeman, all ACC third team. pitching here in the ACC title game. Medea is flown to right and single. Runner takes off for third, and Medea fouls it off. So ready from the Gabe Kapler school of thought.
I was just about to say it, but here's the thing, though, too. UNC knows how good NC State offense is. And 8 runs with this many outs still left to play might not be much for NC State to overcome because of how powerful that lineup is.
NC State has maybe its best pitcher in the game. Of course, in 4th inning, this game is far from over. Villeman's 1-2. Medea strikes out. Off speed from Chris Villeman, who has punched out the 2 that he's faced in their entirety. Brings up the Carolina catcher, Tomas Frick. Speaking of catchers, we were racking our brains collectively with Elliot Avent this morning, trying to think of a favorite opposing catcher of his from years past.
Javi Herrera.
Yes, of the Tennessee Volunteers.
And I mean, I played against him, and I remember there was a game when we were at Tennessee, and we were playing against him when I was at Miami. And we were friends in Miami, and he was catching, and I hit a home run. And he had told me the games before, like, oh, no home runs are being hit here, this place. You can't do it. And my first AB went up there, hit a home run. I come home. It's like, really?
Frick on a line, and it's caught it short by Hood. Big time grab defensively from Josh Hood to end the 4th inning. But with an RPI at 6, you got to imagine they're in the hosting mix too.
They've been playing really good baseball, especially as of late, and they've got some good ball players. I would think that they're not going to be a top 16 just because of all the other teams that have been playing good, but they're right there. They could easily be a top 16 seed, and I don't think anybody would say anything about it.
Right now, D1 baseball as of this morning, as Tom Walters' Demon Deacons as the 2 seed in the Knoxville Regional.
That's a fun one.
Dom Palali is leading off the 5th inning for NC State, and he rolls a single into center off Max Carlson. So a great season for Wake Forest. They got a lot of big-time bats, and they got some premium arms as well, and they are right in the thick of the top 10 of the RPI.
And you start to look at all the teams that are in that top 10 in the RPI, and there's going to be a lot of those that are in those top 8. And Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, you got North Carolina in there in the ACC part of it. Vanderbilt's back in there. It's going to be some fun baseball in these regionals.
Vanderbilt and Wake Forest are currently the only 2 that are in that top 10 of the RPI. Wake at 6, Vandy at 8, you saw, who right now are not projected to be hosts. Peyton Green, the batter. Blue chip freshman, 3rd baseman in the 8th spot. By the way, Maryland in the Big Ten has had an amazing season. Historic for what Rob Vaughn, the head coach there, has done with that program. So if you tune in to the selection show and next weekend and beyond in the postseason of the NCAA tournament, check out the Terps. They have been outstanding all year. The Big Ten, which is in Omaha for its conference tournament. projected to get 2 teams in, Rutgers and Maryland.
It's just going to be interesting the way things play out. Like we were looking at it too, like maybe a Florida State being a 3 team in a regional. Imagine going up there and Bryce Hubbard and Parker Messick, and those are the 1-2 punch that you're going to have to face in your regionals to start off. That's not going to be fun. So when you start to look at it where all these ACC teams are going to go, it's going to be a real fun tournament.
3-2. Green strikes out. 93-mile-an-hour paint from Max Carlson.
Well, we talked about it, and the whole big thing was, can Max Carlson still have that fastball juice? And boy, does he. Has really good, nice movement on that fastball. It's a sinker, and it is painted on that outside quadrant.
1 away to the 9th spot for Jacob Kozar. This one is a wild pitch. It moves up down Palali. You heard Brandon Schaefer say about Carlson in our interview that Carlson is back from Tommy John. And it was not, though, the full Tommy John surgery. And actually, when they went in for the surgery last spring, Scott Forbes, we had just talked with him like right around the time of the surgery. And they thought it was going to be the full Tommy John, which would mean he probably wouldn't have thrown at all this season. But instead, it was a different variation of it called a bracing procedure, which has a shorter recovery time. And so Max Carlson has been able to pitch all season.
It's incredible, too, to think of doctors going in there and checking out and be like, hey, we don't have to do all of this. No,
right.
We're good. We can just kind of fix it up just a little bit. You're going to be good as new. You're going to be 100%. And guess what? The hard work does pay off, because after you do have those kind of surgeries, you still need to do all those arm programs, the jobs, and whatever it is to strengthen up, that ligament. And that's where you see those speed increases, too, with a lot of these pitchers who are coming back from Tommy John. They might go ahead and increase that fastball velocity 4 or 5 miles an hour. And it's not because they have the new arm. It's because of all the work that they're putting in to strengthen that area.
And again, he's pitching, as you just saw, on 4 days rest. And he's right around the pitch mark that Scott Forbes pointed out to us. A roller to Stokely retires an unhappy Jacob Kozar, 2 down. 78 pitches, double barrel action. Sean Rapp and Nick Pry for the Tar Heels. We saw both of them yesterday. Max said it was really emotional his first time getting back out there this year, even though it wasn't the full Tommy John. For that recovery and that sort of emotion, wondering, going under the knife, if you were going to be out all of your sophomore season after having a shortened freshman season last year because of the injury.
And you talk to a lot of pitchers too, and I have. The one mental thought that goes into it is, how am I going to come out of it? Regardless of whatever surgery it is, am I going to be, or all of a sudden am I going to lose everything?
Foul ball off the bat of Levante Brown.
Is the fastball velocity going to be there? Am I still going to feel the pain? All of these things that go on into a pitcher's mind, you don't know until you get out there, you toe the rubber, and you start to throw. So there's a lot of emotion that goes on, just because, one, you thought you were going to probably be out the whole entire season, and two, you kind of dodged the bullet there where you're not having to have that big surgery. You're able to have something that was a lot, shorter.
Elliot Avent unable to talk his way into a fair ball there down the line. Chris Hart, the outstanding associate head coach, been with the Pack 18 seasons, third base coach. One to Brown is up high. So it is an interesting spot here with 2 outs. That you've got Palali over at third. You've got third time through the order. Devontae Brown is a very dangerous hitter. And if NC State can get something out of Brown, get into that bullpen and chase Carlson, who knows? Long way to go. That's a strike, 2-2.
The thing is that for NC State, even though we know their offense, we know what they can do, you got to start putting some crooked numbers on the board. You can't let this game keep going, and Max Carlson has been doing an outstanding job today.
It's 2-2. Full count on Brown. Devontae Brown, the fifth-year senior from Noonan, Georgia, southwest of Atlanta. Third-team All-Conference, best season of his career. 3-2. He strikes out. 93 from a fired-up Max Carlson. Rather soft-spoken, but emotive on the mound here in Charlotte. 11 innings in total. 4 days rest today. 2 runs. That's it against him in Charlotte in the ACC tournament. Back in Charlotte in the ACC tournament championship game. And it's the 25th time in the ACC tournament that NC State and North Carolina have collided. Only one other time in the title game back in 1990. But remember 2013? Both these fan bases certainly do in Durham. 18 innings and a tournament attendance record of more than 11,000. Talking with Scott Forbes about it. He said they got to bed at what, 3 a.m.?
3 a.m.
And they had to play the next day as the winners at noon.
At noon. Yeah, he said, no, we got there. Everybody got on the bus at 11 o'clock. We let everybody sleep as much as they could. We didn't hit. We didn't take ground balls. We just got dressed and played the game.
Stokely strikes out against Chris Villeman. Carlos Rodon pitched 10 innings in that game. Didn't factor into the decision. We asked Elliot Aven what memory sticks out from that game, and he did not hesitate. He went right to the 15th inning. Bases loaded, 2 outs. And
it was a 3-2 count.
Yeah. A pitch that was not super close to the zone.
He said it was a ball right out of the hand, and it was a good hitter that at the plate. He didn't remember who the hitter was, or didn't tell us who the hitter was.
In fairness and
out of respect. But he said out of the hand, it looked like a ball to every single person. He swung at it. It wasn't even close.
Colby Wilkerson strikes out. So 4 strikeouts among the 5 batters faced for Chris Villeman. You played 18 innings or anything like that? That's a lot.
I mean, I have. Longest game? I don't think I ever got to a game where we got to 20, but definitely to 18. And that might have been my longest, 18. And it's not fun because there was no runner on second base to start off innings.
That game in 2013, it lasted 6 hours and 3 minutes.
I don't think it had a 6-hour game either, unless there was a rain delay somewhere in there.
We are 2 hours deep in the 5th inning.
I mean, if this goes 6 hours, that means NC State just came back and started crushing balls.
Angel Zarate floats one to left center, and a nice running catch by Dom Palali up near the track. 6 in a row set down by Chris Villeman. Palali runs it down. We go to the 6th inning in Charlotte. 5 innings of 1-run ball. Max Carlson has punched out 6 so far.
So far is what the word is, and that's the key word. He has been just phenomenal today. That fastball, spotting it in, spotting it out, using his off-speed pitches, being pumped after that last strikeout in the 5th inning. And all of a sudden, he's back on the mound with 84 pitches. after 4 days rest, I don't know about this one, Mike. I look at it and I think he did his job. He threw the pitches he needed to throw. You let him rest to rest, because you're going to be calling on him next Friday.
That'll be 4 days of rest leading into Friday. Now it is 2, 3, and 4 in the NC State lineup, so the thinking is that you want your best guy against the best bats, with still NC State with 12 outs offensively to work with, and one of the best hitters in the country on deck in Tommy White. On a line past second in the right field, base hit. Groover floats it in, his second hit of the afternoon. And here does come Tommy White.
And for Groover, that's the second hit for him. Both basically being the same exact spot, the same exact hit. That soft line drive into right field.
White, who, if you're just joining us yesterday, it is 27th home run of the season, the NCAA freshman record that had stood since 1990. His third look at Carlson. White the other way off the end of the bat in front of Zarate. First and second for the Pack in the 6th.
And if I had to guess, I would say that would be it for Carlson after a couple hits. Not the hardest hit balls, but at this point, I think it's enough.
And here comes Scott Forbes, thinking the same. So it ended up being one more up and down, 4 more pitches from Carlson, and he exits after a heck of an outing again here in Charlotte. Scott Forbes was excited about Max Carlson pitching on this stage to prepare him for the NCAA tournament that is coming Friday, very likely in Chapel Hill. And perhaps he doesn't go Friday, maybe he goes Saturday. In any event, he was outstanding.
He was completely outstanding, and the crowd, well, they're letting them know it.
The native of Savage, Minnesota, pitching in the heart of ACC country in a Tobacco Road rivalry. Max Carlson was tremendous.
It's what he does. He goes out there and he's your ace on the staff. And this is what you want your ace to do, to go out there, give your team a chance. And not only that, pitching against a really good offense in NC State and just leaving him with 1 run, incredible.
Now Nick Pratt takes over. Heavy lifting for him yesterday, 2 pitches.
It was very heavy lifting before inducing a ground ball to Soretti. Went out there, had more warm-up pitches than he pitched during the game. But it's a fastball slider, and he's good. I mean, he's doing what they need him to do over there in Coach Forbes. Whenever he needs a ground ball, whenever he needs some outs, that's who he's going to go to.
And NC State is threatening here in the 6th inning, trailing by 8 in this ACC Championship game. The cleanup man, Josh Hood, is the batter. He drove in NC State's only run, an RBI single to the pull side past third in the 1st. Flew out to right in the 4th. Prize 0-1, and Hood could not resist. 0-2.
It's another good slider right out of the hand. It's sharp. It comes in. It almost has a cutter feel to it because it's got a really tight spin. But boy, it has some really good, nice break down to the ground.
Hood strikes out. Big punchy for Pride for the first out.
And guess what? There's more pitches thrown today than he did yesterday with 3. And it's another good slider. This one over the middle of the plate. Took a little bit more off of it. Had a little bit more up and down angle to it to be able to get Hood to swing and miss.
Now Noah Souls rolled into a 6-3 double play in the first, then struck out swinging against Carlson in the 4th. Souls, who has always been a worker, says Elliot Avent. He's always held his head high, even in the first couple of years when he didn't have as many opportunities as anyone would have hoped. But he got a lot better defensively in the outfield, and the bat has played all season too. We saw him have a huge game early in April against Clemson. 3 for 3, drove in 4, responsible for all 5 runs in that game to even up a series in league play. A couple days later, he was ACC Player of the Week. 2-0 to him. He's low. The 2-1 pitch from Pride of Souls. Popped up toward the Carolina dugout, and Horvath runs out of room. Big ricochet.
Good ricochet, and I like it. This time, a kid steals a ball from an adult. Gotta love that. Got the glove in the way.
That's great.
Love it.
Two on, 1 out, 6th inning. River at second, White at first. Souls the batter. On the ground to first. Stokely collects, goes to second for the force on White. Aggressive decision and good throw from Hunter Stokely. 2 gone.
Ooh, an aggressive, you are correct. You look at the scoreboard, it's 9-1. Me at first base, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to collect that ball. I'm not going to try to make that throw. I'm going to go ahead, just step on first. I want to be 100%. I'm not going to try to turn a double play on it. I don't need to go worry about keeping a guy off for second base. Let's get the outs. But Stokely, he's going to want to go ahead and turn that ball, get him to second. Now you have men on first and third instead of second and third.
Now we have training staff coming out to the mound. Now Scott Forbes joins. Hopefully Nick Pry is okay. Little hitch. Hitch in the giddy up there?
A hitch in the giddy up. And I'm trying to see if maybe he jammed his right leg into first base when he was trying to get there. And that's why they teach first basemen, run to the base. Do not take your eyes off of it. You run to first base, you get there, then you turn around. Because a lot of times you try to find it, and you can jam that leg into the ground. And it's just a little tweak. You're fine. But that first initial hit, you're going, oh boy, that was something weird there. That was something hurt.
Good to see he's all right. He now faces JT Jarrett with 2 outs. Jarrett, the NC State second baseman, has struck out looking and grounded to short. His father coached in the other semifinal yesterday. Link Jarrett, Notre Dame's head coach. Link is here today, even though the rest of his Notre Dame team flew back this morning to South Bend. We caught up with JT this morning. He said, I think Dad is more nervous in dad mode than in coach mode. He said he joined you guys on the broadcast yesterday?
Yeah, he didn't even know that he joined us on
during my
broadcast.
game?
It's hilarious. He's like, wait, what?
He said, was he sitting with my mom? He said, yes, he had been. This is roped into left field. Base hit down the line. Fair ball. Groover scores. Souls rounds third on a 2-run double from JT Jarrett. The pack is not done yet.
And how about that? We were just talking to him earlier today, talked to his pops yesterday. A big double by JT Jarrett to score 2.
He had been 0 for 14 here in this ACC tournament and had been 0 for his last 22 in the last week and change. And that double has got to feel very good for the fifth-year senior second baseman. 2 lefty hitters among the next 3 for NC State. So here comes Carolina left-hander Sean Rapp. It's a 6-run ball game in the 6th in the ACC Championship.
She outshoots me all the time. We play horse. I don't play it anymore. It just destroys me.
Smart man. Sean Rapp comes on for the 40th time this season. He leads the country in appearances. He went yesterday. You see 20 pitches for Rapp in an inning and 2/3 in the semis against Notre Dame.
Yeah, and he was good, too. It's a good fastball. It's a very, very sharp slider. And if you're a lefty, you're hoping that he throws you the fastball because you don't want to see the slider. It has to start almost behind your hip for you to be able to hit it, and most guys can't pull the trigger.
There it is, to Don Palali.
It's not fair. And especially where he throws, it's almost like a low 3/4. And he's just so good at wrapping that ball around where it just freezes the left-handed hitters because you see it, it's going to hit you or it's going to be behind you, and it's a strike.
And the pun was not intentional, apparently.
It wasn't.
0-1. Another one, check swing roller. Horvath charges and throws out Palali. 2 sliders. That's the recipe for Sean Rapp to finish the 6th. But NC State gets 2 on a JT Jarrett double. 6-run game in the 6th. Bracket here in the ACC Baseball Championship. The semifinals were yesterday. These rivals advance. Right now it's North Carolina leading NC State. Plenty of baseball still to come at the collegiate level here on ESPN2 as well as ESPNU. But next here on the Deuce, it's the SEC Baseball Championship in Hoover, Alabama. The top seed and the nation's #1 team, Tennessee, against Florida.
Boy, that's going to be a tough team to beat. That Tennessee team is just really, really good. And Florida, they're making a push to be one of those top 16 as well.
If you have not watched Tennessee, stick around, tune in. They are 52 up, 7 down. That's the record, 52-7. 2, 3, and 4 for Carolina here in the last of the 6th against All-ACC reliever Chris Villeman for NC State. I mean, there are bats galore in that Tennessee lineup. Guys who've just slugged it all season. Trey Lipscomb has had a breakout year. 21 home runs. They've got, what, 8 guys with double-digit home runs?
It's ridiculous. They lead NCAA, don't they, by a good margin. They're just 1 through 9 in that lineup. It's just, all right, who are you going to go to next? Oh, boy, here we got this guy. Oh, geez, we got this guy next. And then on the mound, have a guy throwing 105 miles an hour? Come on.
They've got a swagger and an identity to them as well that they don't maybe seek out, but it finds them, that's for sure.
That's what happens when you're winning ball games and the way that they're winning, at the pace that they're winning.
Horvath to right. Noah Souls for the first down. And Florida, as you said, playing very well at this time of the year. You saw the 7 seed in that bracket. We had them earlier this year, and they were trying to find themselves as we chatted with their head coach, Kevin O'Sullivan, and they have. They beat the 2 seed Texas A&M yesterday. A 9-0 win. 15th trip to the SEC Championship game for Florida. Only LSU has more. And they're there as the 7 seed. Into right, off the bat of Danny Soretti. Gabby thought it was gone, 2 away.
It sounded good. When I can hear it so loud, and the way that this ball has been flying as soon as it got hit. Oh, I think Soretti thought he got it too. It was loud.
That's a yes or no when you're standing around the cages.
I would, as soon as he hit it, he was going to say yes, and then he would have to do push-ups. Because if you get it wrong, if you get it wrong, you got to go get down and give you some push-ups.
Do you guys do it in the dugout too? I know it's a big thing during BP.
Some guys messing around. You hit a ball to the wall, to the warning track. The guy catches it. You come back into that dugout and you start messing around doing some push-ups. Like, man, just one extra set. One extra set, that ball would have been out of here.
Well, the answer has been yes twice today. 4 times this tournament, 21 times this season for Vance Honeycutt. He's behind Chris Villeman, 1-2. Villeman 12 pitches yesterday, 35 and counting here today. He came on, remember, in the 4th inning against Honeycutt with a 3-2 count. First pitch out of the zone. But 8 in a row set down since by Chris Villeman. And he strikes out Honeycutt. 93 and a 1-2-3 in the 6th for Villeman. NC State's got some momentum as we move to the 7th. Because North Carolina's women's lacrosse team just won the national championship over on ESPN. Word has not yet reached that gentleman lying down, but we promise he's excited. And what a win and what a season for Jenny Levy's team.
You don't know. He could have fainted because of excitement. No, it looks like he's just tanning.
What a season. They went 22-0. They just beat Boston College, the reigning national champions, by 1 goal in Baltimore.
Wow.
They had to come back in the national semifinal in incredible fashion, even to reach today's national championship game against a super team as well. Boston College, who has last year's Heisman Trophy winner of the sport, the Tewaaraton winner, Charlotte North. And now North Carolina wins. Wow.
You're incredible. You are outstanding.
Unwarranted, but appreciated. 8-9-1 for NC State, starting with Peyton Green. Sean Rapp is still out there for the Tar Heels, and look, NC State still has 3 innings offensively to work with. They just got 2 runs. They have got into the Carolina bullpen. Top of the lineup also looms for them.
And it's that one situation that we talk about where just because you saw the score being 9-1 does not mean at all that NC State is out of it. They are a team that can put up a lot of runs extremely quick, and I think Forbes, he knows that, because he has double barrel action, guys on the mound ready to go just in case things start to get a little hairy.
1-2 to Peyton Green is caught on and missed. The slider works to righties too.
And that's what he's good at. Sean Rapp has such a good slider. It's tight, it's hard. He's able to throw it back door to righties. He's able to throw it to your back foot to lefties. He just has to throw it at you, and guys just kind of freeze up on it.
Redshirt sophomore out of Mendham, New Jersey, throws it there to start out Jacob Kozar. Who has flown out and grounded out. Sean Rapp is from a Power in New Jersey, Del Barton. And how about some of his teammates on that team? Jack Leiter, and Anthony Volpe, who is the Yankees' uber prospect, who is on that team with Rapp as well. And those were really the 3 stars of a state championship team back in New Jersey.
I was going to say good luck facing those guys.
Whoop.
I love how fans yell out balk.
It's a natural reaction, though, right?
Yeah, of course. It's just that messing around, too.
On the reload. Foul.
It's just a bunch of slider after slider after slider. And here's the thing with Rapp. If he wanted to right now, he could elevate that fastball and he would get a swing and a miss. Just because guys just don't want the slider anymore. So anything that's straight, I'm going to just swing at it.
0-2. Kozart flicks it foul. So that high school team, by the way, state championship game. Sean Rapp is in the 8th inning. He singles into right field, and then he comes onto the mound right after that, replaces Jack Leiter in the game, and finishes off a state title win.
Wow. In the 8th inning?
I think 7-inning games.
7-inning games in high school, so it must have been a tie ball game.
Check swing. Kozart did not go. 1-2.
So then he ended up getting the hit and then getting the win.
Yep. And Volpe, who again is a guy you're going to be hearing about in the major leagues in the future, he had a 2-run homer in the 1st inning of that game.
Pitchers who rake.
Strike 3 called. Kozart punches out, much to his dismay. Rapp has fanned 2. 2 gone.
And it's just another good one. It's the slider, and you don't know what to do with it. And for a lefty going up there against him, it's kind of not fair. The lefty-lefty matchup with Rapp.
Kozart is not pleased. 28 runs in 3 games entering today. And a quiet showing from a really good Pack offense. Back to the top for Devontae Brown, who has struck out twice after he doubled to start his day and start this game in the 1st. They have loved Brown in the leadoff spot. That was the brainchild of associate head coach and third base coach Chris Hart heading into this season. He's had power, he's had patience in his first 4 years, but he's been something else this season. Elliot Aben has said you factor in everything, defense included. He's been our most valuable player.
It's just a ton of power from your leadoff hitter. 15 home runs. And the best is those home runs that he's hit to start off the game. 6 of those 15.
He chops one over Stokely. Brown beats Rapp. Devontae Brown is on for the 2nd time.
And that's one there that Stokely goes out to get it, and Rapp didn't run right away. He thought it was going to just be to second base. Wilkerson, Stokely goes off, and by that time, you're not going to be able to beat Brown to first.
A super athlete, Devontae Brown, who would be doing backflips before games with Tyler McDonough. He's aboard. And Gino Groover is the next batter. Frick visits. 2 relievers out in the pen, getting ready for Carolina. Connor Bovair on the left, starting to heat it up. And Gage Gillian, who worked yesterday, really steadied that game in the middle innings after Will Sandy's start. And Bovair will come on. Gino Groover next, then Tommy White in the ACC title game between State and Carolina. With the backdrop of Uptown Charlotte hovering around these confines in the 7th inning. Connor Bovair is the new North Carolina arm. Righty takes over for the lefty, Sean Rapp. 3 straight righties due up for NC State with 2 outs here, and Gino Groover the first.
Yeah, for Bovair, it's going to be a fastball, slider, changeup. The big thing for him is giving up those free passes, especially in a game like today. You have the lead, it's 9-3. The last thing you want to do is go ahead and give NC State another base runner because they've got some power in Tommy White on deck.
Bovair's first appearance of this ACC tournament, facing Groover, who has singled his last 2 times and goes off the end of the bat into right field, and Zarate runs it down. Good running catch by Angel Zarate to send us to the stretch in Charlotte. Charlotte, North Carolina. The ACC Championship game winding down this week of college baseball in the postseason before the selection show tomorrow. And then 64 teams are in across the country headed into regionals. And everyone will be wide awake for that.
Everybody will be wide awake, and I'll have some popcorn out. I'll be having a nice time. He will not be wide awake because he was sleeping. But he's just taking a nap, so he could be wide awake. And got some ice going on.
That's rapping rap.
Rapping rap.
Alberto Osuna faces Chris Villeman last of the 7th. We've been punching tickets across college baseball. Berths, automatic qualifiers, who, as you said earlier, that they don't have to sweat it out during the selection show tomorrow.
I guess the only sweat out would be where you're going to be for a lot of teams.
Yeah. Chris Villeman's been really good since he came into this game. Fouled off by Osuna. How about what Hofstra did to reach the NCAA tournament for the first time about an hour ago? A walk-off hit by pitch in the bottom of the 9th inning in the Colonial Tournament to reach regionals for the first time and beat Northeastern.
Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations to them. It's big whenever you can finally punch your first ticket into the tournament.
That's what we call wearing it.
You wear it. That's a good one. That's one that you get hit, you don't feel anything. You're smiling as you're running to first base.
And they've got a head coach with big league ties, Frank Catalanato, leading the Pride to the tourney. Villeman strikes out Osuna. 6th K for Chris Villeman. 1 gone in the 7th.
I mean, this is just incredible by Villeman. Just a great pitch. That's his 10th retired batter in a row. He has been rolling, throwing the fastball. What I like most about it is he started to incorporate his secondary pitches. He's starting to use that slider, that changeup, and that's what he needs to do to be even more effective for his fastball.
Now Mikey Madej. Mikey Madej post-game yesterday, he reminded reporters that he hadn't even played the outfield before this year at any point in his life. And now he's the starting left fielder on a team that could be ACC champions headed toward a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament.
Now listen, as a player, you go where you're needed, and a bat, that gets you in the lineup. Sometimes you're going to have to play a position that maybe you don't know how to play, but sometimes that helps you out because then it makes you that better of a player because now you become that utility role where you can play different spots on the field.
Fades that one foul. He's a guy who started his career at Purdue. Wasn't expecting to make a huge impact right away, but he started as a freshman. Then got injured in the fall of his sophomore year and right before the spring season started for his sophomore year, that he got told by the Purdue coaches that they wanted him to redshirt, even though he was healthy. So that blindsided him. He said, hey, I'm going to transfer.
And it worked out.
Yeah, it sure did.
Absolutely. And sometimes you got to just trust in yourself as a player. Hey, why am I going to redshirt? I can play and I can do it and I can swing the bat. So if you don't want me here, I'll go somewhere else where they do want me.
Had to go to junior college first. Then came to North Carolina, where he is now in his 3rd season with the Tar Heels. 24-year-old infielder turned outfielder. Originally from Shorewood, Illinois. Hits this into center. Brown started back, now charges in. 2 gone. Up, 11 down for Chris Villeman.
It's impressive what he's been able to do since he's come into this ball game and just basically make these UNC bats go cold very quickly in these last couple of innings.
Now Villeman against Tomas Frick, the Carolina catcher. Villeman at 50 pitches for his afternoon. Frick's quickly down 0-2. Villeman deals 4 perfect innings out of the pen for Chris Villeman. NC State down 6 outs to work with, and Tommy White is coming up. 4 home runs already in Charlotte.
And boy, you were the one that said it about these comparisons.
Spencer Torkelson in his freshman season at Arizona State put up very similar numbers. But Tommy White with more home runs than any freshman who's ever played D1 college baseball, as far as we know. D1 record books, they got to start updating.
He's just been incredible. And from the start of the season, he has been the talk of NCAA and ACC baseball. And he has just continued to deliver. The pressure has not gotten to him.
The NC State program record was 25. It was held by 2 guys in the 80s. Tracy Woodson, and then 4 years later, Turtle Zahn, who Tommy White got introduced to back in the fall. Elliot Avon said, I didn't know that Tommy White was going to break Zahn and Woodson's record right away as a freshman.
It didn't take long to solidify himself in those record books, that's for sure.
Why do you think we have so many guys with 26, 27 home runs, even just in this conference, but that's what's happening around the country?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do, too, with the draft getting cut down. Guys are going more, high school guys are going more to college than they are, signing. I also think pitchers on the mound are throwing a lot harder. A lot more velocity on the mound means guys are able to hit it all, farther. And the other two is workouts. Every single year, everything changes of how to get yourself better and more prepared for the game, as you see Bovair throwing balls of 97, 95 miles an hour. And that's the type of stuff I'm talking about. Just guys are just in better physical shape. Balls are coming off their bat a lot harder than even when I was playing.
Josh Hood, the batter. He's got pop as well, 13 home runs. Bouncer left side. Soretti on the backhand on the grass. Not in time. Hood is on.
Yeah, they sure did. So did the Mets. Both those teams are trying to make a run, see if they can take down the Braves, who were last year's World Series champs.
First pitch swinging, Noah Soul, slow roller, Mac Horvath. In time, nice play. 2 gone.
That's just a heck of an arm. What a cannon. Wolfpack. My goodness. Once that ball got hit, I thought there was maybe no chance. And then he unleashed probably 100-mile-an-hour fastball over there to first base.
Again, a draft-eligible sophomore who generated a lot of interest draft-wise coming out of high school just a couple of years ago. Out of Rochester, Minnesota. North Carolina by 6 in the 8th. JT Jarrett the bat. 1-1 from Bullpen. Again, NC State projected as a 2 seed, North Carolina as a 1. Second time these rivals have met in the ACC Championship game. Up and out. Up and away again on 93. Hood at second. NC State has scored the last 2 runs in this game. Back in the 6th. A 3-1. Cut on and miss. A challenge fastball.
And that's what you're going to get now on 3-2. Usually what a guy throws on 3-1 is what they're going to throw on 3-2. Got to be ready. If you're JT Jarrett, you have to get that foot down, be ready for an explosive fastball.
It's a fastball that Scott Forbes says, oh, it rides. A lot of life to it. See if he does go to it again. Jarrett got to the fastball into right. Zarate is there. And they go. Hey, how about this? Sellout crowd, official attendance just announced. It's a record for an ACC championship game. Just like we thought. What's it like to be the #1 overall seed headed into the NCAA tournament? Well, maybe not as nice as you might think. 3 teams didn't make it out of regionals. 5 more didn't get to Omaha, including Arkansas last season because of one of the teams we've got here. 14 have gone to the College World Series, but only 1 since 1999. Dogpiled in Nebraska.
That's Greg Lovelady right there getting lifted up into the air.
Well, the 1 seed will very likely be Tennessee, regardless of what happens in a game just about set to get started down at Hoover, Alabama. We will go to it when this game is done in Charlotte. If you want to find it in the meantime, head over to SEC Network, or you've got options, ESPNU. Hunter Stokely grounds out to start the last of the 8th, and if you haven't seen Tennessee, it's not just the home runs that we talked about earlier. They also lead the country in ERA.
And also really good defensively. Just a well-rounded team. It's going to be interesting to see who's the team that's going to be able to take them out. When you're talking about a 3-game set or regionals, anything could happen.
They have been historically good. Colby Wilkerson into short center. JT Jarrett calls for it, and Brown makes the catch. 2 gone.
JT Jarrett was calling it, has his hands flying in the air saying, I got it. But when you're doing PFPs, you got those fly ball communication drills. Center field is the one that you got to get out of the way for. And those are things that you practice.
Smile that says, all's well that ends well. Angel Zarate now trying to be the first guy to reach against Chris Villeman.
I mean, Villeman has just been outstanding today. You look at the work that he's put in coming into this ball game. 55 pitches, this would be 56, and he has just been lights out.
He's been perfect.
He has been perfect.
Ball four does not count.
Does not count against him. Since he's been there, everything. I mean, nobody has even gotten close. 7 strikeouts since he's been on the mound. Not one person has been close to reaching base.
He's given them a chance to wedge their way back into this.
Nice and calm in there, Z. Nice and calm in there, baby.
Early on in the season, he felt something in his side. So a little slower start to the season for him. They were cautious, took it easy on him. And it's been all systems go ever since. Guy who grew up a lot last year, according to the coaching staff. Part of that deep run all the way to Omaha. Zarate stays alive. Two balls and 2 strikes on Zarate. Singled in the first, came in on the Vane Honeycutt home run, and then he had a 2-run single in the 6-run second. But no one's been able to touch Chris Villeman in 5 innings, and so NC State still has a shot. They've got 3 outs to play with. They need 6 to tie in Charlotte. Here in Charlotte, North Carolina is 3 outs away from being the ACC champions here at Truist Field over the course of this week. Connor Bovair and the NC State, the UNC pitchers rather, have held NC State, Tommy White and company relatively quiet, just 3 runs. 7-8-9 for the Pack. Dom Palali leads it off, the left fielder, who's 1 for 3 with a single back in the 5th inning.
Stay short above it.
NC State, for as good as this program has been, they're still chasing that ACC championship game in the tournament under Elliott Avent. He's 0-6 in the title game, and he joked about it yesterday that at times he said, I have felt like Marv Levy, former Buffalo Bills head coach, who came up empty 4 times. Doesn't take away from how good this program has been, but you know a competitor like Elliott Avent licking his lips, wanting one. Dom Palali skies it to center. Honeycutt retreats. Carolina's 2 outs away. North Carolina, meanwhile, looking for an 8th ACC title, and with a resume this year for the NCAA tournament that is appetizing.
I feel like if they can hold off NC State with these 2 outs that are left and they win this ball game, they could jump to that number 8 spot and be able to host regionals and super regionals, just of what they've done as of late.
First pitch swinging, Peyton Green to right center. 1 out away. A reminder, we will get you to Hoover, Alabama for Tennessee and Florida. What a turnaround by North Carolina this year. What a job by Scott Forbes. 21st year on the North Carolina staff. He showed up in 1999 for the first time. Second season at the helm after Mike Fox retired, following 22 great years as the head coach at this legendary program. On the ground to short. Serretti gloves. High throw. And this game continues. Chase Nixon, the pinch hitter, will move to second. And the potential celebration has to wait.
That's one of the situations where I think Serretti catches the ball and just was thinking about the win a little bit too much, because you see him catch it. He took his time, and as soon as that elbow dropped underneath that baseball, I can tell right away that that ball was going to sail on him.
Who was on the ACC Championship team in 2019. Back to the top, Devontae Brown, 2 hits out of the leadoff spot, and he goes first pitch swinging. A reminder, the selection show for the NCAA tournament tomorrow right here on ESPN2, noon Eastern, as well as the ESPN app. We'll have the SEC and the Pac-12 title games here on ESPN2 as well today. Time called before the 1-1. The Siena transfer, Connor Bovair. Brown on a line, well struck, center field. Honeycutt back, and it's off the wall. Nixon scores, and NC State trims the deficit.
It's staying alive. And Devontae Brown, boy, he hit this fastball on the nose to center field. Stays on the fastball out over the plate. Hits the bottom of the wall. All of a sudden, you got to think, hey, NC State's not going quietly into the night.
So Tomas Frick will visit the mound. Now you get the 2 spot in the lineup. Gino Groover, he has 2 hits today. In front of more than 10,000 in Charlotte. First pitch. Groover swings through the off speed.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Bovair's has been pumping fastballs, and this time said, you know what? They're going to be aggressive on my fastball. Here's a little slider for you. See if you want to swing at that one.
Nothing in 2. With 2 outs in the ninth, Bovair deals on the ground up the middle, into center field, a base hit. Brown scores, and it's a 4-run game. And Tommy White looms. He will see a new pitcher for a North Carolina team that is not taking any chances. Davis Palermo got the save yesterday. He's coming back to try to finish this thing off. He's got to deal with Tommy White. Tommy White has incredible power and to all parts of the park.
Oh, he does, but it's really pretty when he lets that ball get deep and goes out to right field or right center field, and he has done it 4 times in this tournament.
He has grabbed that home run paddle quite a bit this season for NC State, the 4 you mentioned here in Charlotte, and in this game today he has walked and singled. He's also rolled the short and flown to center, and he is the last hope right now for NC State, down by 4.
Down by 4, you still have some work to do if you're NC State, but you've got to love what you have. But on the mound, Davis Palermo, he has been the dude for UNC, the closer. 64 strikeouts to 20 walks and 50 in the 3rd innings. It's a good fastball and an even better slider.
And he throws the fastball a lot.
Oh, a bunch.
First pitch swinging to short. Soretti flips. It's over. North Carolina wins the ACC Championship. What a turnaround for this team, and they win their 8th ACC tournament title.
Just outstanding work. One of the hottest teams in the NCAA right now. In their last 16 games, they were 14-2. Now you can see in their last 17, they're 15-2. They've just been outstanding. It's an all-around baseball team that they've been doing it with the bats, and now their pitching has come along.
In a rivalry in front of more than 10,000, Carolina is crowned the 2022 ACC Baseball Champion.